My name is Kim Brandt Stewart, and I am the Human Services Chair, and again I want to welcome you all. Before I get into formal introductions of some very, very important persons that we have here, I do want to say a few words to our graduates. I want to acknowledge, again, the hard work that each and every one of you have faced and all of the personal challenges that you've overcome as you've gone through your journey. I see so many faces. I'm feeling age here. I feel like I've watched you guys grow up. This is bad. This is pretty bad. Not yet. I'm not going to cry. I heard that. I probably will, but not just yet. And before I do further address everybody, I want to talk a little bit about the programs that our students, the certificates that our students are achieving tonight. We have 4 certificates in the Human Services program. We have the Alcohol and Drug Studies program. We're our Alcohol and Drug Studies students. All right, you guys? We have the Community-Based Corrections Certificate. Do we have any of our CBC students here tonight? Yeah? Okay. We have the Generalist Certificate as well as our Mental Health Worker Certificate. The Alcohol and Drug Studies Certificate prepares our students for state certification upon completion of the college, where they can work in the field to help with interventions and treatment and assessment in the field of substance use disorders. And they're very well prepared. We also have the Mental Health Worker Certificate, where our students are prepared for entry-level jobs working in the field of mental health, for advocacy, intervention, support, monitoring, group facilitation, and many other positions. We also have the Community-Based Correction Certificate, where our students are prepared to work with, especially in the state of California, to work with the men and women who are re-entering into society due to the lifting of the criminalization of nonviolent alcohol and drug crime. So that's well overdue. So we have a great program that our students are poised to work again with the men and women who are re-entering society and who do need support. And lastly is our Generalist Certificate, much like a Social Worker Certificate. It is entry level, and again, many, many roles for the Generalist, including advocate, monitor, support worker, peer specialist, working with elders, working with children, working with adolescents. So as you can tell, we have quite a few specialties. Our students have pursued one of 4 or more of the specialty certificates. A lot of hard work, and again, congratulations to you guys. I wanted to say to the students and to the audience that I know that you all learned quite a bit about the profession of human services, with the focus on your respective specialty areas. But the most important lesson, and I learned this from you all, was self-discovery of your personal abilities to overcome any challenges that you all have met along the way. The realization, and again, that you all have taught me, is that I can do this. And more. I know I'm going to pull it together here. This is going to be a long night. This is going to be a long night. All of you have the helper's heart. So, yes, you have the special education. You've worked very hard. But more importantly, something you can't get in the class is that heart. So congratulations to each of you. $1 billion points! Yay! I want to end, and I am going to move on. We have a long program tonight, or a lot of good stuff tonight. We have a lot of our wonderful faculty here and their families. I want to move on, but I got permission from two of our processional leaders, And I want to give them a round of applause, and to all of our volunteers, our student volunteers. Daryl, Gover, and Paige Chastain are our professional leaders. Let's give them a hand. And may I see the hands, because I see a student volunteer standing already, the hands of our student volunteers. Where are you guys? Thank you, guys. Well, Daryl gave me permission. Daryl, I don't know if I can read this. You want to come on up here and read this? Yeah. I know. Yeah. All right. Daryl gave me permission, and I just graded this morning. In our introductory to human services class, one of the final assignments of our students is to write a very introspective paper about whether or not their perspectives have been changed, etc. So I read this from Daryl's paper, and I had to cut and paste it and ask him if I can read it. And he gave me permission because I think this embodies the work of the human service student. Would you read this for me? Because I don't know. I practiced earlier and I didn't do very good. All right. All right. I think, quote, I think that the most important thing that I learned about myself during this course is that I can benefit from being more confident in my ability to take on the challenge of higher education and academics. I have learned how intensely I will sometimes allow myself to become convinced that a task, such as returning to school after many years of being removed from it, is too difficult and possibly an unreachable goal. I have learned I can overcome this self-imposed, impaired way of thinking, and I can actually achieve my objectives and reach my goals, both long and short. I have learned that my confidence has increased, and that I am even looking more forward to completing this course and then ultimately officially working in the human services field. Daryl, that was so well stated, and Daryl is back in school after, as you said, years of not being in school. Thank you for allowing me to share that. That was beautiful. I will begin our formal introductions of our very important guests that we have here. I'm going to begin with our Board of Trustees member, Trustee Marcia Milchiker. Come on up, please. You can say a few words.
Thank you so much. You do such a wonderful job with the program. I want to say to the graduates, I'm so proud of you. That you really come so far and that you're in this incredibly helping profession, that you're going to be dedicating your life to helping others. That's so important. And I want to also tell you, don't forget about Saddleback College. Come back and visit us, and we'll be very happy to see you when you come back. And I'd like to introduce my son David, who's a social worker.
Hi, David.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, of course, if we can ask our Dr. Kathy Worley, President Todd Burnett, our wonderful president. Come on up, President Todd Burnett. And I'm looking right at you. I beg your pardon. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
You know, Kim just said something about that you're helping hearts, correct? But who has really helped also through this program has been our faculty and our staff. So, yeah, how about a round of applause for them? Thank you. And I have to tell you, I've had the pleasure of hiring over 125 full-time faculty at Saddleback College, and I know we have wonderful full-time faculty, but I'll tell you, I have never been more proud and more honored and thrilled that I was able to hire Kim Brand-Stewart, who is amazing. And by the way, she was tearing up yesterday. So it's not true. And I do believe that you should have a box of Kleenex for everybody in the room, because every year it's the same. And I'll tell you, I come every year and I really do try to attend this graduation. I just came from another graduation for our child development on the way over here. Two extremes, if you got that, kids.
Yeah.
But But what is very special here about what you're all doing is that there are so many people in pain out there, so many people hurting, and there is no program, no degree, no certificate, no training, no help that you are all going to give to people out there for our society than what you're doing here today. And I'm just so proud and thrilled that you're taking that plunge for yourselves, for your families, for our society. So, and of course, one reason why I'm so thrilled with our faculty, with our staff that have put this program together, our administrators, our trustees, and why we support this program so fully. In fact, what do I say all the time? Grow, grow. Let's expand it. More graduates, more students, and we're going to get a bigger room next year. We're going to open that up because we are outgrowing it. Yes, which is thrilled. So I wanted to come today on behalf of Saddleback College, on behalf of all of us. We're very proud of you. Thank you for your our congratulations on your achievement, and we really look forward to seeing you go out there in the community and really helping those people that are in pain, and also spread the word to get more people to come and find out that education and training is so important and critical, because we need more people to help that in our society. So thank you very much, and thanks again, Kim, for a wonderful evening.
Can't thank you enough, Dr. President Todd. Yes, thank you so much for your continued support of our program. We very much appreciate it. I want to introduce our Dr. Kathy Worley. She is our Vice President of Instruction. Dr. Worley.
Thank you. This is my second commencement here at Saddleback College, and it's been quite a whirlwind year. But when I attended last year, I learned for the first time about many of the programs that you were completing here, and was extremely impressed with a number of them that I hadn't really had a lot of exposure to. Rich Goodman was kind enough to invite me out to drug court, and I got to go there and see firsthand what this was all about, and it happened to be a day when there was a celebration, a completion program going on. I know Kim's going to talk more about that program, but I am truly impressed with what you do, and so keep it up. Recognize that this is not the end. Commencement means beginning. So you're beginning a career, perhaps, beginning more education at a higher level. It's not really over.
Thank you. Did I see Dr. Geraldine Schumann come in here? Geraldine Schumann is the Dean of, soon to retire, Dean of our Counseling Services, and she has honored us to join us today because I think, as Peggy told me, this might be one of the last official acts before she retires after how many years? 37 years. Thank you so much for being here. You're welcome to come up. I also would like to introduce and welcome Dr. John Jaramillo, who is our newest dean, and if I understand, he's been here for 1 week, so we're so pleased for you to come. Less than a week, 4 days. Well, this is a great, great intro to the college, so we're so pleased that you're here. He is the dean of the Workforce, Economic, Workforce, and Development and Business Science Division, so welcome. Are there any of our field supervisors or any representatives from any of our sites here that we need to recognize? Who is that? Is that Joey Hunter? Oh, hi, Joey Hunter! New Methodist? Joey Hunter is actually an alumnus who is now one of the field supervisors at one of our internship sites, New Method Wellness. Good to see you, Joey. One of my first students. Very good. I would like, of course, now to switch gears and introduce our wonderful faculty. If I can have our faculty come on up here, please. I see you, faculty members. Anita, John, Kim Smalley. Of course, all of our wonderful faculty couldn't be here tonight. but these faculty can and are. I want to start by introducing our newest full-time faculty member, Sean Osborne, who is completing his first year. We all know our dear Ken Schmalley, who is a foundation. And our very own Rich Goodman. How about Sue Donaldson? What about Anita Madani? I'm going to get out of the way and allow our faculty to say a few words to you guys.
Welcome, everyone. So I have been here all of, 10 months now, 9 months, somewhere in that area. New to Southern California, new to Saddleback, new to teaching full-time. And I came from the world of social work. So it's wonderful to see another social worker here. To come into this arena, work with most of the people here, which to me are just amazing students, such a wonderful group of people, and to do what social workers do best, and that's to see people succeed. I feel blessed to be here and to know that there's a group this big. I almost feel like they're kicking off their life for me in a selfish kind of way, and I couldn't be prouder. Thank you, guys.
If you haven't heard the words in any of the classes, I have no words for you now other than go on. You know, they say that the journey of 10,000 miles starts with a single step. I want you to look at your certificate as your first step. There's steps that need to be completed. Your associate's degree, your bachelor's degree, your master's degree, your PhDs. Everybody in this graduating class has the capacity to achieve those goals. You will go as far as you want. God bless you all.
Good evening. I'm Rich Goodman. I have the privilege of being at this institution since 1978. I was hired as a part-timer for the Human Services Department then by a man who I will mention a bit later, Dick Wilson, and then I was extremely fortunate, like Sean, to be hired full-time in 1990. And then I retired 5 years ago, and I'm still hanging around because of these people. And the others I've had the good fortune to be in a classroom with. This is an incredible experience to encounter these individuals and know what they're going to be doing. Geraldine's been in counseling for that equal amount of time, and many of the rest of you have also taught, and so you know the privilege you have. So thank you, and my pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Hello there, I'm Sue Donaldson, and I'm so happy to see everybody here tonight. It's a big night, and what I like to say to the students in the classes is particularly around the middle of the semester when they're coming in and they're frazzled and tired, and is one class at a time, and the time goes by, so you might as well have one more class under your belt closer to your educational goals, and that's exactly what you did. And what's nice about it is nobody will take the certificate away from you. And when you go on and get your degrees, nobody takes that away from you. So that's a beautiful part about this. You can feel so proud of yourself. So congratulations. Yeah. Hello, I'm Anahita. And I love you guys. I just love you all. I want my Dean and Mr. President and my Madam Chairperson and the rest of the officials to know that about 11 years ago I was a Saddleback student. And when I started back in 1994, I was an ESL student,
So I had to start from English as second language. And back in 2012, when I remember one day sitting at IBC classes over Saddleback, I made a wish and I said, I want to be a teacher one day in a community college. And dreams come true, and it's the resiliency factors that you guys have. You think we are teaching you. In my opinion, I'm learning from you. Every single of you have taught me so much. And then I met this wonderful woman that I call a goddess. And my daughter that's sitting there, oh, by the way, and he's a Saddleback student, just called her a goddess. So she hired me, and my journey in Saddleback has been a wonderful, wonderful one. And the full-time position this time didn't work out. But, and because we had a wonderful, qualified, fantastic employee, but I got a full-time position in Long Beach City College. And so in summer will be my last 2 classes, but this is not me. I'm not resigning or quitting. Keep me in your adjunct school. But you guys are what I'm proud of when I look at myself as a teacher. It's this end result of it that makes me want to stay in this profession. I have faith in every single of you. You are going to go make changes in the world. And I always say in my classes, we are all agents of change. We want to be that change that we want to see in the world. You guys are that change that I want to see. So congratulations. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
To bring some more chairs and use the dolly in there.
Okay. We're going to have a brief pause because our dear Peggy, who I'm going to talk about in just a moment, is getting a dolly so that we may have more chairs in here because, President Burnett, we are growing. We need more chairs. Excuse me just a moment.
Carrie's 30 in her earlier. What difference?
Thank you. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Every year I tell myself I'm not going to do this, and I'm remiss every year. I do it every time. We cannot continue another moment without me recognizing somebody who is so supportive of this program, who has taught me, who has supported us, who has promoted us, who has become my mentor and a very dear friend. I want to recognize our Dean, Dr. Donna Rain Shostak.
Thank you, Kim. What does one say looking at a group of young people like this? You have done it. You fulfilled a dream. You have more dreams to fulfill. So I thought I would share with you, as I always wondered, what am I going to say to them? And I wanted to share with you something that I think embodies what you're going to be doing. An old man was walking down the beach after a storm. And the beach was littered with thousands of starfish that had been washed ashore and were dying. And he came across a young man who was picking up starfish one at a time and flinging them back into the ocean. And the old man said to him, "What are you doing? There are so many," he said, "Well, I'm rescuing them." He said, "There are so many who need your help. How can you ever make any progress one at a time?" And the young man looked at him, and he bent down and he picked up another starfish, flung it back into the ocean, and he looked at him and he said, "Made a difference to that one, didn't it?" Yeah. You are going to make a difference every single day. Probably one person at a time, but know that it makes a difference, and we're just so proud of you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I was going to call Peggy up, but she is working away. Let's give Peggy a hand. She worked so hard. Peggy's gonna come up, again, everybody, if you don't know, this is Peggy Dakin, the program specialist in our Health Science Division and Human Services. Peggy is the director of all of this. Peggy does this every single year. I don't know how she does it, but she gets it done, and we wouldn't have this organization and this beautiful presentation without her. Peggy, thank you. We love you and we thank you. Thank you so much. Come on.
I tried to get them to move this wall back today, but they weren't buying it for me.
That wall's better.
So we're going to take a moment and recognize a very special faculty member. Julie Bright. Julie Bright was a very special faculty member, and Rich Goodman is going to share a little bit about the very special person who we also here.
We have a picture of Julie we'd like you to see, so that's let me just say. Julie Bright was hired as a full-time professor at this college in the nursing department in 1989. And I got to know her 1 year later. When we were working together, I came to appreciate what an incredible person she was. And not just as a teacher, but as a human being. Approximately 2001, our Dean of Health Science and Human Services, which includes many other departments, medical assistants, and help me out for that, paramedics, and several others. Well, Julie was appointed acting Dean of Health Sciences, and that was quite an honor because there were many other individuals that had a longer amount of tenure time. But she was such an extraordinary person when she was given that position. It wasn't too long after that the founder of the Human Services Department, Dick Wilson, back in about 1977, retired, and I became department chair. And I had been department chair for a couple of years, and Julie was still acting dean. And I finished a class 10 o'clock at night, and I was in my office doing some paperwork, and Julie came over from her dean's desk and said, "Rich, can I talk to you for a minute?" She said, "We were going to put Dr. Wilson's position open for full-time positions, just like Sean was hired and like Kim was hired." There's and myself. And she came and said, "I want to ask you a question. What do you think if we don't put out the position and I just do a lateral transfer?" And she continued by saying, "I know I don't have any experience in human services other than being a nurse, which is ample indeed." But she said, "The individual courses that I could teach, I will learn them, and I will become expert in them." And I was somewhat taken aback, because again, she's acting dean and she wants to become a professor in human services. I said, "Julie, just give me till tomorrow. Let me think about it." And the more I thought about it, what a wonderful idea it was. So the following morning I went into her office, my boss, and said, "Julie, that would be absolutely wonderful." So my boss, then I became her boss. She did a crash course in human services. We sat down and did a program review. And we looked at various courses we're teaching, And you people sitting here ought to know that one of the first ones we talked about were the internship class, HS 110 and 150. And we decided that they should be raised to a higher academic standard. So you can thank Julie for your weekly log and all the other paperwork. But what eventually happened was, and Kim, that's what I'm getting to, and then as we added a text to it and made it more professional, then Kim and Julie, because I'm leaving out one part, added more things to it. And quite frankly, the internship classes are the equivalency of what any university could offer. Without a doubt, I can say that. After a couple of years, while Julie was working, I said, Julie, I think you're a better administrator than I am. I would like to trade positions with you. So that's what we did. And she became my boss again. And she was the department chair, and I was the other professor. And then Julie contracted cancer after about 2 years. And this woman who has the most courageous, outgoing, loving self fought her cancer for over 9 years. And the type of cancer that most people succumb to within about 2 years. And approximately 3 weeks ago, we went to a memorial for Julie. And this lady was always positive, always loving, and there aren't enough adjectives to describe Julie Bruck. Anybody who came into contact with her, you fell in love with Julie. She had every quality imaginable. So I wanted to take the opportunity tonight to recognize her. Any of you who ever had the chance to have Julie as a teacher would have been enriched by her. And many others who perceived Julie would definitely agree with what I'm saying. So for a moment, let's just remember how she gave so much love. To give something back to Julie. I love you, Julie.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, we have another very, very special person we want to recognize. And I'm going to use the adjective of our wonderful senior alumnus. We want to, on behalf of the Saddleback College Human Services Department, we would like to present this certificate of recognition to Mr. Pastor Jens Christie. Come on up here, Pastor. I want you to tell him. And pardon me, I believe Pastor Christie just celebrated his 84th birthday.
And I survived. I don't know if I'll survive this, but the first time I graduated was in 1953 from Berkeley. I was going to law school. I was going to be a hotshot criminal defense attorney, keep all the bad guys out of jail, and make a lot of money. Along the way, I had an encounter with God, and I realized that I wanted to be in the helping profession. And what better place to be than be a pastor? And as a counseling pastor, I ran across countless times with families that were suffering from the consequences of other family members that were in addiction, just time and time after time. And we have a church now, almost 4,000. And I read someplace where 1 in 4 children are in a home where there's substance abuse. Those are frightening statistics. So I decided to go back to school. After a 50-year hiatus, I gotta tell you, I was in school, we didn't even have tape recorders. I mean, really. And as an information junkie, you can see the internet just launched me. So I was only able to get away for 2 classes a semester, so I went 8 semesters. It took me 4 years. And I never missed a class, and I was never late. Oh, except one time, I said, no, I had a UTI. Right? How's that, ladies? So, anyway, I'm running a fever, and Terry Witt and Julie Bright looked at me and said, you don't look very well. I said, well, I ain't feeling very well either. So I'm in class. She says, you have to go home. I said, I can't. I don't want to be marked absent. So they cut a deal for me, and they said they marked me present, and I did not miss the class. But, on the way out the door, I just had to punch that computer one more time. I don't know how in the world, I'm dead serious, this thing came up. And this is exactly what it says. 2 ways to stay mentally sharp. Now, I'm not going to preach tonight. I'm just going to give you one more. But it says, keep busy and engaged. The MacArthur Foundation study on successful aging, a long-term study of aging in America, found that education level was the strongest predictor of mental capacity as people aged. The more education, the more likely an individual was to maintain his or her memory and thinking skills. I'm trying to remember where I paused. Really, that new building totally threw me. Other research has shown that people who held jobs that involved complex work, such as speaking to, instructing, or negotiating with others, had a lower risk of memory loss than people whose jobs were less intellectually demanding. And of course, going to class was intellectually demanding, that's for sure. I mean, I found out, I thought a study guide was to teach you how to study. I didn't know it had all the information on it, and I just passed on that. Then I found out that laughing at Goodman's jokes weren't going to get me a better grade. But since then, we have a care department at my church, and CARE is an acronym for Counseling, Addiction, Recovery, and what is the R for? Yeah. Encouragement. It's an E, that's right. Okay. Yeah, and I was an English major. But I want to just very quickly put a plug in for what we do. We have a 12-step meeting schedule, and this is what I've got going. I'll do it quickly. True Vine, alcohol, substance abuse, that's faith-based. Monday night, overeaters, eating disorders. Same night, ACA, adult children of alcoholics. Tuesday nights, the Bridge to Recover, it's a faith-based co-ed ministry, 12 steps. Tuesday night, sex addiction recovery meeting, men's group in the prayer room. Wednesday night, living clean, narcotics addiction recover, co-ed group. Friday night, Al-Anon families with alcohol and addiction issues. Friday night, true to self-codependency, also an alcohol addiction recovery meeting across the street. Sunday night, cocaine addiction. And I thank this school in Saddleback and the faculty for this. Thank you very much.
Pastor Christie, thank you so much again, and congratulations for all of your good works in the field of human services. We appreciate you and honor you this evening. Thank you so much. We're going to move along, and we're going to hear now, or in just a moment, from our guest speakers. Every year we struggle very, very, very much with inviting our guest speakers for the graduating class. And tonight, and I don't have my glasses on, but I know this by heart, we have our Christopher Brace. Where are you, Chris? Dimples! Hi, Dimples. Come on up. He gave me permission to call him Dimples. Chris Brace was in one of my first classes when I began, so we're going to hear from Chris. Congratulations, Chris.
All right. Good evening, everyone. As Kim said, my name is Chris. Usually when I get up to do public speaking, I'm used to saying after my name that I'm an alcoholic, but today that's not the role that I'm in. I want to start off by congratulating everyone here who successfully completed their Human Services program, and to the faculty that has helped guide us to the completion of this program. We all come from different backgrounds and circumstances, and have taken different roads to get where we are, but today we're all here for a common purpose, and that is to celebrate and be recognized for the completion of our Human Services program of choice. When I first came to Saddleback College in the fall of 2013, I chose the Human Services Department, and more specifically the Alcohol and Drug Studies program, not to find a new vocation or a career, but because I was lost and newly sober and was looking for some answers to my own substance abuse issues. I was tired, scared, lost, and confused, and on top of attending my 12-step meetings, working the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, and calling my sponsor, and doing everything that was suggested that I do to stay sober, school seemed like another good addition to my schedule. As I progressed through the AOD program, not only did I find myself enraptured in my studies, but I found a genuine desire to help others brewing inside of me. I was already working a great program through and helping others was already part, helping others was already part of my program, but I felt like I could use my experience, strength, and help to help others in the additional setting, and that of the academic setting and the treatment programs. It was at this point that a shift occurred in my outlook, and I decided that besides participating in recovery as a way of life for me personally, I wanted to contribute beyond sponsoring others and work in the recovery community in general. I've got a lot of things. So part of the program, we do, as was mentioned, an internship program. And I was blessed to be able to get a great internship through this program, which has enabled me to, at this point in time, recently be offered a full-time position in a recovery center down in San Clemente. And I know I'm not the only one. There's a lot of other people that you see up here that are also in that same boat and have gotten employment through this program. And I'm eternally grateful for that. This field of addiction studies and treatment is a growing field, and that's fortunate and unfortunate. It's a field that's constantly growing, that people have a constant need for, which is unfortunate, but a program like this is properly training and preparing people to go out and help those people. And I don't remember if it was Kim that said this in one of the first classes I took here, but ideally what your goal should be is to work yourself out of a job. And although I don't see that happening anytime in the near future, ideally that would be the case, that a program like this would be no longer needed. But because it is, I'm honored to have gotten that education and experience through Saddleback program, through this community college. There's a couple of things that I use with clients on a day-to-day basis that I work here when I go to work every day. And one of those things that I always tell people that I learned from Ken early on in the class is that you always have a choice. The choice may be that this sucks or this sucks more, but you have a choice. And I don't think that there's a day that goes by when one of my clients doesn't look at me and say, I have to be here, or you're making me be here. And what I tell them in return is that everyone at one point in time in their life is going to stop using drugs and alcohol. It's just a matter of whether they're going to be alive when they do it. And being in this field, it's my goal to help those people make that choice and guide them in the direction so that they make that choice to stop drugs and alcohol while they are still alive and breathing, not only for their own sake, but for other loved ones and the other people that are significant in their life. And I know with myself, as long as with a lot of the other people up here, we have personal histories of addiction and alcoholism. And as our families and friends that are out there, you've got the experience being a family member of people that have been in that situation. And if it wasn't for you guys, I don't think I can speak for myself. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my mom, who's out here somewhere recording me on the side. But a lot of these other people up here have had the strong support of their loved ones and family, and I thank you guys. I appreciate everything that this program has given me, and I look forward to giving back to the community in the role that Saddleback's trained me for. Thank you.
Chris, thank you so very much. I would like to welcome another of our outstanding students, a newlywed, Mrs. Kirsten Winger-Eschen. Come on up, Kirsten.
Well, I didn't pass out on the way up here, so there's one win. So I was nervous as hell to do this, and I still am. But Kim loves to give me a challenge, as she has through my entire experience here. So it took me a couple of days to decide that I was actually going to do this. And when I finally did, I realized it wasn't just an opportunity for me to get up here and talk about my experience, but to thank each and every one of you sitting up here for enriching my life and being a part of my experience. I was usually fairly quiet in class, and some of you only noticed me this past semester in class, as we discussed earlier this week. But each and every one of you has allowed me to be introspective, to be vulnerable, to grow, and to make mistakes and to fail and find out that that's okay, which hasn't always been the case in my life. So this has been one heck of an amazing experience. There was a time where I couldn't have even gotten up here and done this. So thank you to all of you. You know, there have been so many aha moments, I think, throughout every semester I've gone through, either a project we've done or a group we've been a part of, and it's been like, oh my God. And I think one of the biggest ones for me was when we did our genogram project, which, for those of you that don't know, it's basically like a family tree, but way more involved, a lot more information. And for me, it was the emotional relationships that it showed. Green lines are positive, red lines are negative, blue lines equal abuse. I'm an adult child of an alcoholic, grew up in a very emotionally abusive household, and that had been the focus for a good majority of my life. And so I did my genogram, had it up there, and there are all those red and blue lines like I was expecting there to be. And then I saw that that was only about a quarter of the page, and the rest of the page were all these beautiful green lines. My husband and my new family, family I'd been able to reconnect with, my wonderful sister, my niece and my nephew, and I realized you guys too have created so many brand new green lines for me. So again, thank you, and I'd like to leave you guys with this. I found this the other day and thought it was very appropriate. An invisible thread connects those who are destined to meet, regardless of time, place, or circumstance. The thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. May you be open to each thread that comes into your life, the golden ones and the coarse ones, and may you weave them into a brilliant and beautiful life. Thank you, guys.
Kirsten, you were magnificent. Thank you so much. I want to now call up to the podium another of our outstanding students, Tyrone Tavasi. And may I say of Tyrone, he is one of the many students I've had the pleasure of watching grow. Tyrone, when I first met him in class, he wouldn't talk. He was one of the students who wouldn't talk, but he has grown to be the consummate professional and the prudent student. Tyrone.
What an amazing privilege to be here. Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for joining my esteemed peers and myself in what represents the culmination of years of struggle and determination, sacrifice, willingness, personal and professional discovery, our human services graduation. I find myself with a very bittersweet feeling as I take my human service textbooks, reference manuals, ethics reminders, hard copies of my school schedule from my desk and my bedside, and move them up to my bookshelf, which will be referenced frequently, but moving nevertheless. I started this journey by the recommendation of my therapist. She said, go take a class. I wanted to better understand my own addiction issues and my own mental health issues. And I ended up discovering and understanding so much more. This would have been my first time in the classroom in 25 years. And when I was a student prior, I was a struggling student at best. I showed up for class the first day and found myself to be anxiety-ridden, struggling with the expectations of academia. However, I quickly found other students, now my friends and peers, who shared the same experience. I also found an amazing sense of support and encouragement from a very qualified and experience-driven academic staff. The compassionate purpose of the Human Services Program, it would seem, is not just to educate and professionalize the front lines of the alcohol and drug counseling industry, but to show us all a glimpse of the outside of our personal potential. The gift given through the support and encouragement in this program have left me the struggling student who's made the Dean's List 5 out of the last 6 semesters. And left me with a strong desire to establish other academic goals, including continuing on with my sights, continuing with my sights on a bachelor's degree in social services and hopefully a graduate program in the human services field. I have a propensity for learning the hardest way possible. That's my awesome family right there who will back me up on that 100%. And I haven't fully abandoned this approach. I have found, among many other things, the ability to learn the easy way. Easy way may be the wrong phrase to describe my experience. In fact, I think it is the wrong phrase. The valuable way fits much better. Commitment, drive, struggle, willingness, determination, and sacrifice are only some of the attributes my peers and I were able to develop through the drive and support of the Human Services Program. These sacrifices now seem like a small price to pay for the invaluable experience and the realization that the role I am now able to play out may change the world through the potential impact on individual lives. This potential is best represented by the pebble in the pond, whose ripples crash on distant shores of humanity. Another gift of this process was simply the journey of self-discovery, a better understanding of the human condition, and in this journey I've departed a life of ambiguity and entered a life of purpose. I've gained meaning for a 25-year struggle with bad choices and emotional pain. Now understanding we are no better or worse, only different. Also understanding the difference in our experience holds intrinsic and priceless value. I'd like to extend a special thanks to an instructor who has modeled and made real a genuine approach to treating the human struggle with empathy and compassion, Kim Brandt Stewart. $100 million points to you, Kim. I'd also like to extend heartfelt gratitude for the impact in and on my life, as well as demonstrating the development of understanding of the human condition. Sue Donaldson, thank you. Rich Goodman, wherever he may be. Rich. Ken Schmeling, Sean Osborne, and Anahita Mugabe, thank you. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, the Master of Organization and Information, Peggy. I'd like to close with something that I was inspired to write after a class with Ken Schmelly one night. He has this beautiful book called How Can I Help that he uses as a tool. And this book meant a lot, and I hope this reflects. We don't own our lives. The lives we do have are a gift. In these gifts are the roles we play as individuals. These roles seem to limit our spirituality or our genuine human connection. We as humans seem to be locked in our formative experiences, our environment, and our cognition of said environment. A new or enlightened understanding of our limits, it seems, would then free us from them. The truth shall set you free, if you will. In our formative years, we as individuals learn how not to be a part of the collective because it feels safe or more comfortable. In our individuality, we place our identity not in the value of what we have to offer, but what we have to do to get the job done. As our ego develops, common experience generates a willingness or lack of fear, in turn offering what we may have to help, no matter what it may be. The opposite is then true as well. A disillusioned perception of individuality obscures our willingness to offer what we have. No blame, however, should be placed, as our instinct to survive often outweighs our instinct to help. Our individual hearts ache as our paths separate from the spiritual whole. Even knowing this, we inherently cater to our self-image, usually in a mode of safekeeping. The consequence of this process is a constant state of selling ourselves short of true reward. The critical view of this process, however, is as destructive. The ability to realize that no matter what we do, we are always humans being. There's a sense of freedom that comes from being able to have a sense of humor about ourselves. I've got a pretty good one. We should also try to realize the gift that we've been given by giving it to others, representing compassion without limits of self. Thank you very much.
I'd like to welcome our student speaker, Lisa Swindell. Where are you, Lisa? Here she is.
Kirsten, I don't know you, but I made the mark too. I haven't passed out. So, I'm super excited for this graduation day. All day I've been thinking about all of you and just how much we've come through and how it's like finally here. It's so exciting. So, I just wanted to share, when I first started this program, I was a little bit older coming back to school, and I had only done a couple of college classes. I was completely terrified, did not know if I would make it through my first class. But I was very fortunate to have Rich Goodman as my first teacher. And you could not find a person that would make you feel more comfortable and welcome. So Rich's encouragement and genuine heart was something that kept me going through the next steps. The teachers all here have had that same impact. So, Anahita and Ken have both referenced before. I would never word it as beautifully as them, but if you follow the path, even though you don't know exactly where you're going, the doors will start opening and you'll find your way. And I have seen that come to fruition through this program. So I started in the AOD program, and I'm completing in that. At one point I thought I would change to community-based corrections because I knew I wanted to work with at-risk youth. And I don't know why, I don't know where that came from. So I took Joe Salcido's class, Intro to Criminology, and he took us on a field trip to Joplin Youth Center, which is a probation camp for adolescents. So up in the mountains in Trabuco on a crazy, bumpy road. And I don't know why, but I fell in love with it there. And I thought, this is what I want to do. How do I get in here? How? So I had no idea, but it was always in my heart. And some time went by, I was ready to start internship, and I had a few setbacks. I had to back out for a semester. I was completely devastated. I was so close, and I thought, I can't believe that I have to wait a semester. Well, who knew? When I started my internship, Sean was our new instructor,
And he's standing there talking to us and telling us about a brand new intern site working for Department of Ed. No idea what it entailed, but I thought, okay, it has to be kids, something to do with schools, so I asked. And I found out it was working with, in institutions with the at-risk youth. So I was lucky enough to be accepted into that internship, and when I found out where I would be 1 day a week at a place called Youth Guidance Center, probation camp, and the other day is Joplin Youth Center. That opportunity wasn't available the semester before. So I've been fortunate to intern for 2 semesters there, and they lost their drug and alcohol counselor at Joplin at the end of last year. I was fortunate to get an interview and pass my first interview, and I have. The best part is I have a second interview with my supervisor on Thursday, and it's exactly what both of you have referenced. I've watched it unfold, and I never knew that at this moment in time that would be my dream job, and just to have the opportunity to be there is incredible. So that's been my experience, and I've met so many awesome people along this journey. But I do want to close with talking about our awesome teachers. And I won't remember everything, so I am going to read. All of our teachers, Martine Weir, who's not here, Kim, Rich, Sean, Joe, Anahita, Sue, and Ken. You guys are what make this program amazing. You always encourage us and inspire us, and you motivate all of us to be the best professionals that we can be and to keep pursuing our education. I never thought that I would get this far even, let alone have a dream to get a master's degree in social work. So, here we go. But the best way that I can sum up how I feel about all of you is a quote that I found also. A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself to light the way for others. And I feel like that's what each and every one of our teachers do. So thanks for lighting our way.
Lisa, thank you so very much. Last but not least, our final student speaker of the evening, outstanding young man. He is one of our veterans of this country, Kenneth J.R. Wilson. Come on up, Ken. Come on up, J.R.
Before I get started here, my wife is videotaping for my family at home. So, when I first started here, I was 2 months out of the military, and I was starting my life all over again. And I knew I wanted to work with people with addiction, and I knew I wanted to work with veterans because I could relate the best to them. It turns out it went another direction. I still want to work with veterans in the future, but from where I interned at and ended up getting a job at the end of this, I found out that I could work with any population and be effective and just to do my best, and it's paid off. One of the other reasons why I ended up going this route was my whole life I've been driven by money, and every job that I've taken, I wanted to make the most money that I could. And I had a couple offers from some places, some scholarships, some VAs, to where I could go on to work for the VA. And we had a tough decision because I really wanted to work for the place that I was at, but it would be a great opportunity to go the other route. And my wife told me that do what makes you happy, and something clicked, and I was like, yeah, I could do something to make me happy. I don't have to worry about the money, because every day that I leave that place, no matter how hard it is, I leave there going back to my car with a smile on my face, and it's priceless. I got my first paycheck. I took it and I put it above the visor in my car because it just it was very weird to be getting paid to be around people and do your best to help them out. And it was truly amazing to me. So, for the first time, I did that. And I think the most amazing part of this is to see, now that I'm here, to look back over the past 2 years and see what type of person has grown in that 2 years. And with all of the help from the instructors here and just rooting for you and opening their hearts to help you, it's just a beautiful program that you can never ask for anything better in your life. And I hope the staff understands how much we all appreciate them, because they're truly special people. And for anybody out there that's wanting to go through this program and are on their way, I would suggest to stop, take a breath, absorb everything that you can from this program. The knowledge, don't do it to try to get straight A's, do it for how much knowledge that you're going to gain. And open your heart to the message that this staff is delivering to you, which is truly caring and being there for everybody else. Thank you.
Jared, thank you so much. Thank all of you. Give yourself another big round of applause. I've got everybody's cue cards. Give me just a moment, please. Excuse me. Is Peggy here? Peggy, are you here? Where are you? Peggy, would you come on up? Peggy has agreed to read for us very briefly the Human Services mission, and then we're going to move the program along. Peggy, thank you. Again, Peggy Bacon, thank you so much.
This is the mission statement of the Human Services Program. The mission of the Saddleback Human Services Program is to provide opportunities for students to develop skills in the areas of advocacy, support, intervention, treatment, and referral on behalf of people seeking services. It embodies the knowledge and the skills of the helping professions with the goal of student employment readiness, and this has been evident tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you. One more remiss. We've got husbands in the house tonight. I know my husband is here. Where are you, Louis? Hi, Louis. Hi, husband. Yay. And I know Henrik Shostak is in the house. Where are you? Hi, Henrik. This is our dean's husband, Henrik. Hi, you guys. Thank you guys for coming tonight and supporting us. Just as you all are supported by your families and friends, so our faculty, as we are often ships passing through the night. So thank you to my dear husband for your continued support. Thank you all. Yay. Thanks, husband. I believe, Peggy, am I forgetting anything?
No, I think you have it all.
I think we have it all together this time. I need her help. You guys know that.
Let them eat cake.
Oh.
No.
I did this last year. Yikes. Okay, we're gonna pass on our certificates. Rich, come on up. We're gonna pass on the certificates as we wind down the evening. Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Yeah, first row, no, you're going that way.
You're going to follow this up. You lost her paper. You won't be reading for the rest of this. She can't find it.
Well, that's fine.
Ah. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tradition that you're about to see, where our graduates are going to share their feelings about their education, their lives, their futures, I'd like to mention that we as teachers, we always receive so much back from them, and this isn't unusual. This is a mirrored image of how I believe the teachers in human services instruct, because we want to hear who they are within the classroom. So let's please welcome our first individual. Thank you. Okay. What I got?
Okay.
Are these actually in order?
Well, yes, it's supposed to be, but I don't think they are.
We want to welcome our first student, Ms. Kirby McKinsey, mental health worker.
Kirby wants to share this with you. I want to thank the staff in the Human Services Department with the integrated learning process. I've had my challenges due to my brain injury I had 13 years ago. I don't remember things. I don't always understand things, and sometimes it takes me longer to learn a new theory or skill needed in this field. But with God's help and my fellow teachers, I have taken on every challenge given to me. The person I want to thank the most for being with me every single step of the way is my mother. I love you. That's Kirby McKenzie Frazier. Yay. Our next recipient is Jack E. Roush. Saddleback College Human Services AOD program has definitely changed my life. In the first class I took with Professor Rich Goodman, I knew I was on the right track. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
The quality of instruction is outstanding, and the faculty consists of individuals who have dedicated their lives to influencing others, implanting students with the seed of knowledge that will flourish and carry them through life. God bless you all. Yay. Thank you, Jack. And our next person is Jeff Conroy. Jeffrey, come on up, please. Jeffrey wanted everybody to know of the great love he has for completing this program and wanted to give thanks to everybody. Thank you, Jeff. Alex Peterson, AOD certificate. This program has made a significant impact on my life and has helped me build my identity as a helping professional. I have exceeded my own expectations in my studies, which have motivated me to further my education. If I had entered any other educational program, I would not have been so compelled to complete it, much less decide to move further in my education. I attribute this to the amazing people who have taught me over the past 2 years. Thank you, everyone who has supported me. Thank you, Alex. Tyrone Tabasi, AOD and mental health. Empathy, compassion, insight, and faith are a few attributes of many that represent a human services worker. These attributes are best represented by the faculty of the Human Services Department in their drive to meet the human condition head-on. I initially engaged in this process to better understand my own mental health, but I began to witness the potential for something better. The gratitude I feel for the energy and time spent by the faculty, ever pushing us not just as students, but as people helping people. My view has evolved seeing that we are no better or worse, just different, but all beautiful. I especially want to thank Kim, Sue, Anahita, Rich, Sean, Ken, and Peggy. Without all of you, my sense of purpose would not be focused. My family, thank you for never giving up on me or giving in. I love you all. Michael Croft. His AS in Human Services, his AOD certificate. Today is my graduation day. Today is the day I receive recognition for all my hard work. Today is the day I would like to thank the faculty and staff of the Human Services Department at Saddleback College. Without your support and encouragement, tomorrow might not have been possible. Today is the day I thank my friends, my instructors, and my family, for without you all, tomorrow would not begin today. I would like to add a very special thank you to a lady who, through living her life, has shown me a better way to live mine. Thank you, Aunt Vicki. Thank you, Michael. Kelly O'Brien Spraker. There was a time when helping people was not anywhere on my agenda. In years past, I strived to do more harm than help to people, including myself. After conquering my own personal demons related to addiction, I decided to pursue the goals I have achieved here today. I am forever grateful for my dad and my sister for allowing me to focus on school, my higher power, my instructors who pushed me to be the best I could, and the wonderful colleagues I have met on the way. Kelly O'Brien Spraker. Kirsten Wenger Eschen. She was just Wenger when I first met her. The most beautiful people I've known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen. Kirsten chose that as a quote from Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She would like to thank all the beautiful people in her life who have been part of her journey, to her teachers who have inspired her, her peers who have challenged her, and to her family who love her. Thank you all for helping to make this possible for her. David Muntz. David is grateful to Saddleback College and the Human Services Program for allowing him the opportunity to continue his education in a field that he loves and is passionate about. David's greatest accomplishment while in Human Services was becoming a founding member of a Better Life Recovery, and wants to thank the instructors in Human Services for instilling in him the utmost ethical standards in which he will carry with him throughout his career. Thank you, David. Jan Boland. Good evening. I'm so excited to be graduating tonight. I want to thank my family, friends, fellow graduates, and instructors who helped me in this journey, and a special thank you to Joanne Shelley, who believed in me and supported me from the first day. Today I have dreams and goals, and I look forward to helping others in this field. I am so proud of myself. Sobriety rocks. Mark Grove, AOD and Mental Health Certificate. I returned to college after many years working as a carpenter. I was looking for a career to provide me with an opportunity to use my life experience and interest to gain knowledge to help others. There are many people to thank for helping me achieve those goals. I was encouraged by my instructors, Sue, Ken, Anahita, Rich, Michael Van Essen, and Kim, and especially Peggy Dakin for all her work. I was inspired and supported by my family in my efforts. My internship at Embrace Recovery led to a part-time position as a counselor. My goal is to work full-time as a counselor in outpatient treatment and to one day run my own sober living house. Mark Brooks. Crystal Windle. Mental health worker certificate. I hope to become a mental health worker advocate for veterans incorporating ceramics. I feel that vets have incredible stories and life skills that will benefit from me. Thank you, Dad. Rest in peace. Who always supported my education and everything else. Thank you also to Mom, Noel, Roger, and cousin Shauna. I'm graduating because of the love of my parents who helped me through my medical issues. With their help, I pulled through and hope to begin working in Oregon or Washington State when I move there. Crystal Wendell.
All right.
Sophia Tapia, mental health worker. I am forever grateful for my sister and girlfriend who have supported my decision to change my major and join the Human Services Department, and along with my friends have supported me throughout the toughest year of my life. Also for the blessings we have for the professors and staff. Within this program I found a major that makes me a better person, heals and empowers me, because the Human Services field is Earth's very own version of heaven. The field of advocacy, of second, third, or 50 chances of redemption. It manifests a type of wealth you cannot write a check for. Sophia. Caleb Runyon, mental health worker. A year ago, I decided I wanted to earn my mental health worker certificate, and here I am a year later. This has been the most powerful and amazing experience of my life. On this journey, I have had the privilege of meeting some of the most amazing and caring instructors and staff, as well as making some of the most amazing friends I've ever had. This program has not only helped me to discover what direction I want to go in my life, but also helped to understand myself that much more. I'm truly grateful for everyone who has helped me through this process, and I wish the best of luck to everyone who pursues this program in the future. Caleb Runyon. Brian Choye, Human Services General. I want to thank my family and my friends. However, I want to thank two people in particular. The first is my grandmother. She told me about the importance of education and never to give up. The second is my professor, Sean Osborne. He explained how I could do something better and always answered my questions that I had. It made a huge difference in my success in this class. This has definitely been a journey, and I have to say this was a journey worth taking. It was full of ups and downs, but in the end, I'm still standing. Jim Zaricki. I want to congratulate all the Human Services graduates. I also want to thank the people who trusted me and supported me in this endeavor. Thank you to Siamak Asfar. Sorry, I butchered that one. Afshar. Gina Richardson and Mr. Farhad. I've learned immensely from Saddleback College, and I want to acknowledge and appreciate the following outstanding people. Rich, Ken, Sue, and especially my friend Anahita Madavi, and the most supporting of all, Professor Kim Stewart. And thank you, Peggy, for all the work you do for the Human Services Department, and everyone else who has helped me along the way. Jim Zaricki. Don Hadley, Alcohol and Drug Study Certificate. First, I want to thank my first case manager for making me go back to school before I could get a job. When I started this process back in 2007, I had a 4th grade reading ability, and I hid behind my dyslexia. My mother had to assist me with all of my homework. Today I'm a much better reader and no longer hide behind my handicaps. A special thanks goes to my family for not allowing me to give up the finish line in sight, and I could not have made it without you. Tracy Chamberlain. Alcohol and Drug Studies certificate. I want to thank my professors for always making me feel I could do it, and the patience they showed to my OCPD. I want to thank you to Barbara Rodriguez, Lauren Benton, and Tricia Perito for accepting me for who I am. And this wouldn't be possible without my mom's love and support. I love you, Mom. Lauren Benton, AOD certificate. This program has changed my life. Tomorrow I will have 5 years clean and sober. I don't think that I would be where I am today without coming to Saddleback and being involved in such a wonderful program. I'm so excited about my future working as a drug and alcohol counselor. I want to thank my parents and my children who inspire me every day. And thank you, Tracy, for being there through it all. Laura. Tricia Perito, AOD. There's not enough time to say all I would like to. However, experiencing this program with stellar classmates and friends has been an enriching endeavor and has encouraged me to seek my full potential. Because of the amazingly supportive staff at Saddleback, I'm currently enrolled at Walden University working towards my BS in psychology. With the focus on addictions. My goal is to obtain my Master Recovery Life and Wellness Coach credentials with the aspiration of being a program by 2018 in Central California that will consist of an eclectic bunch of evidence-based practices and offer the services I see as a gap in implementing social change. Lastly, Tricia feels truly blessed, and I think she is. And Brendan DeHope, General. Brendan just wants to thank his parents for never giving up on him. Thank you, Brendan. J.R. Wilson, AF in Human Services, Alcohol and Drug Studies certificate. I remember the first night this man walked into my class, and I learned very soon, although he didn't say anything, that he was a veteran, and my gratitude for him and many other veterans that have come through our school and our program. And the program is continuing to build. And like many of our graduates tonight, there's a specialness about this man and many of the women. J.R. Wilson has spent the last 2 years as a full-time student at Saddleback, is receiving his associate's degree. He's maintained a GPA of 3.8. J.R. is on the DAPAIC committee for the college, and you can tell them that stands for?
Drug and Alcohol Prevention, Intervention,
Advice.
There you go.
Now you know I asked you to do it. Yeah, I was here for you, J.R. And he started in the Veterans Support Group on campus. Most recently, he's working with the committee in attempts to start a Veterans Memorial Therapeutic Garden on campus. He will be transferring to Cal State Fullerton to get his bachelor's in Human Services. J.R. Kyle Carter, Alcohol and Drug Studies. I want to thank Ken Schmalling for his instruction on drug and alcohol counseling principles mixed with his dry sense of humor. Rich Goodman for his abundance of knowledge mixed with care and compassion, and Kim Branch Stewart for her repeated instruction on ethics, while having one of the biggest hearts and being one of the most caring individuals I have ever met. All right. Thanks to them and many others, I will be able to learn techniques and principles that today I carry with me as I have had the opportunity to open my own program, and I'm working to professionalize the profession every day, thanks to what I learned at Saddleback College. Victor Georgescu, AS in Alcohol and Drug Studies, AOD certificate. I want to thank my wife, family, friends, professors, and everyone else that helped me through this journey. My life has taken a 180-degree shift, and I am forever grateful for the life that has been afforded to me. Human services and helping fields have opened my eyes to the beauty of life. I love this field and will continue to learn and grow as I do as much as I can to help someone in the hope that I've gained for them. Thanks again to everyone in my life and to everyone I plan to meet along the way. Victor Georgescu. Ali Puya, AOD. I'm not standing up here because of how amazing or extraordinary I am. I'm only standing here because of the people who did not give up on me when I had given up on myself. I want to say a special thanks to my mother, father, brother, and sister, to my adorable nieces that love me unconditionally, and to my beautiful wife, who has put up with my schedule and stood by me every step of this beautiful journey. It is because of my family and all those who helped me along the way that I am proud to graduate from Saddleback College Drug and Alcohol Studies program. I can honestly say I am proud of the person I see looking back at me in the mirror every day. I will pay it forward each day as I progress in my career as a counselor and provide the same strength to others that was so freely given to me. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. Hallelujah. Lisa Swindell, Alcohol and Drug Certificate. In my pursuing this certificate, I feel like I have found my purpose. I'm so blessed to be part of Saddleback's Human Services program. I want to say a special thank you to Martine Ware. You have been a source of inspiration and encouragement to me and will always hold a special place in my heart. I also want to thank my husband, Richard, who has been my biggest cheerleader. Your continued belief in me has helped me to cross this first finish line of my journey. Thank you. Barbara Rodriguez, AOD. After my daughter, Andrea, died from her addiction, God redirected my life. By faith, I began this life-changing journey to help those afflicted with the disease and their families. I am grateful to Kim Brandt Stewart for the program that she designed because it breathed life back into my broken heart. Thank you, Joey Hunter, for being such an inspirational supervisor, trusting in me and giving me new wings to fly. Lastly, I want to thank my human services instructors and peers, co-workers, friends, and my most amazing children for helping me find healing and a new dream to live. Barbara Rodriguez. This will take a moment. Thurman Isaac Jerome Freddie Hines. Dear Dorothy, Faye, Lynn, and Thurman L. Hines, your son cordially invites you both to his AOD certification graduation. As you both know, this is a 2.5-year certification program, which only took your son 10 years to complete. While this isn't remarkable, what is remarkable are the educators at Saddleback College who took the time to get to know your son personally and take an active interest in his future. Your son's mentor, Rodney Robinson, and family, who continually kept his size 12-foot firmly positioned for maximum motivational effectiveness. That's great. Your son's sponsor, David Booth, who laid a firm foundation by making suggestions. Other remarkable people in your son's life are Dennis Larkin, Kirsten Lowe, and your daughters, Chiquasta and, say it again? And Chesapeake. And most of all, Jessie B. Choice, whose wisdom and training combined with this education have brought your son to this point. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart with a gratitude that is immeasurable. Thurman. Jack Sawajian, Hawthorne Drug Study. Well, I was asked to write about my experiences I had leading up to my certification. I started feeling anxious because I didn't know what to write. But actually, I'm reminded that I'm terminating myself from Saddleback College. No one can prepare a student that's graduating that there's going to be a loss from the support and comfort from the instructors, Veterans Office, but most importantly, the campus community. I want everyone in this room to understand how important everyone is to the graduating students, because without your support as a teacher, family member, or student, I know I wouldn't have been able to graduate. So because I'm graduating, Mom, this certificate is for you. And for everyone else graduating, I hope they have someone they can depend on, because the loss I'm feeling is being replaced by my certificate and the support of my family. Jack Sawajian. Chris Grace, AOD. I've really enjoyed my experience at Saddleback College in the Alcohol and Drug Studies program. The professors have been great, and the knowledge I have gained has been amazing. Not only did Saddleback provide me with a great knowledge base for the addiction treatment field, but I also was able to secure full-time employment through the internship I took on through the school. Yeah. Chris Grace. Melanie DeWall, Melanie has had a passion to work in the addiction field since she was 17, and she has been blessed with a job that fits her perfectly. She says that she is grateful that she had the opportunity to complete this program and has loved every class and all the friends she has made. Melanie also wants to thank her family for the unconditional love and support they have given her every step of the way. Thank you all. Ladies and gentlemen, the individuals who received their various certificates of achievement at Saddleback College through the Human Services Department, here they are. Let's show them our love.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for another wonderful...